From the basement of La Penta, it's WICR.
Hello, Iona College. Welcome back to Entertainment Overload. Armand Medeo and Jersey Joe, T-Mac and Vince Carter, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. It's all the same. That's what it is.
We're back from outer space.
Back from outer space, Space Jam, bringing it back. Now, Armand, we were just talking a lot of NBA, and I don't know why, but this just came on my head, and I got to ask you. We're huge NBA guys. What are you thinking about the LA Clippers? Because you think about Kevin Durant going down with his injury now. Does this kind of open up things for the Clippers to build an early lead? Because, look, we know the West is going to be just a brutal grind when it comes down to it.
The Clippers, they need to get better on the defensive side of the ball. They have great players in DeAndre Jordan, who is Defensive Player of the Year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? No, 2 years ago. Marc Gasol won last year.
That's right.
So he's a great defender, but up front they gotta get better. Like the small forward and shooting guard, they give up a lot of 3-pointers a game. They don't space the floor well on defense. So, the only other teams you have to really worry about now that Kevin Durant's injured is you gotta worry about the Spurs.
Yep.
The Warriors. What do you think about the Warriors? I don't think they're as lethal as everyone would.
I agree. I don't know, the Warriors, it's the same thing. It's defense. Yeah. I know what they're going to do on the offensive end. I worry about their commitment to defense. I like Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr's a bright guy. He's going to do things the right way there. But I don't know. I just, when you show that kind of, they're young too, so they've still got a lot of room to grow. But I think the West is just so brutal that I think they're still like a 5th, 6th seed team in the West.
Who's the Clippers small forward right now?
What is it? You got center. You got DeAndre.
Blake
at power forward.
And you got Crawford and Redick at shooting guard.
Is it Jared Dudley?
If that's the case, then that's sad.
Yeah, I don't know. And the thing about Blake is, what do you think about Blake's improvement? Because I think you see last year, the knock on Blake was he can't play away from the basket. He can't knock down a jump. He's definitely getting better.
He finished 3rd in the MVP ballot, didn't he?
He did, and I think that's the cool thing about Blake is I love when you see guys. It's been my knock on Dwight Howard right now is Dwight Howard never shows you that improvement in his game. Blake Griffin, what have been the knocks on him? He can't play away from the basket. He can't knock down that jump shot. He's doing it.
I think he's the best big man in the game at the power forward position. I think it's between him and LaMarcus.
I think that's a fair point. Because they're different from guys like Kevin Love, and because Kevin Love is so dynamic.
LaMarcus is more similar to Kevin Love. They're both they could be more comparable.
I think that's fair.
They both score outside, 15 feet away. Although LaMarcus is a much better post game, Kevin Love has never developed a post game.
I agree. LaMarcus got a really dangerous post game.
Yeah, he's got the best in the game.
You watch him that series against Houston, the first 2 games where he scored 40 points per game, you're just it works.
The only thing is LaMarcus doesn't have as good as footwork as Blake Griffin does, so which kind of cuts off his talent on going to the hoop. He more fades away like a Dirk Nowitzki, while Blake will use his quickness with his feet and he'll get to the hoop. So they're 2 different type of post-up players.
I think Blake is probably the most athletic point guard, power forward in the NBA too. I like Kevin Love a lot.
He kind of plays like a point forward, which you said wasn't wrong. The point guard thing, he does. He's a good passer. He
is a good passer.
I watched sometimes he leads the break. He gets a rebound and dribbles all the way down and hits DeAndre an alley-oop, I swear.
I'm just kind of happy. Blake Griffin's always been one of those guys. For how long of our youth has the Clippers just been the epitome of nothingness?
Yeah.
And then Blake Griffin came on the scene, and I finally was able to buy a Clippers jersey. It was the first time I ever owned one. That's not true. I had a Corey Maggette jersey. That's so that shows you right there.
I had an Elton Brand. It was actually a nice jersey, but
there you go.
I didn't particularly like Elton Brand.
Yeah, no, I'm not the biggest Elton Brand guy either. So he played for your Mavericks for a little while.
Yeah,
Man, I love it. But yeah, the Clippers there. The West is just fun. It really is. The Western Conference is just stacked. It provides such an excitement, especially as you get down to the end of the season. The Western Conference. How many Game 7s did we have in the playoffs last year? It was unbelievable. It seemed like every night.
The worst one was the Mavericks Spurs one.
I know.
That was the worst one.
Because
they played so well in Game 7 wasn't even a game.
That's the crazy thing is you look at the
Spurs. You're lucky this wall is between us.
You look at the Spurs run last year, and there was only one team who gave them any trouble at all. It
was the Dallas Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks.
Make sure you broadcast that.
I think Rick Carlisle is a really underrated coach. I don't think people
Yeah.
give him enough credit. I mean, you look at the run they went on when they beat the Heat that year and what they've done since then. I mean, I don't think that they've signed some of the best players. I mean, bringing in O.J. Mayo, I didn't like. Monta Ellis, I've never been a big fan of, but I think Carlisle just makes it work a lot.
I
of
loved
times.
that whole postseason series was so great because Carlisle. I mean, whenever they would interview Pop, they would be like, because of Vince Carter, and Vince Carter was actually playing really good.
Yeah,
during
he
the
was.
series. It's like we need to just guard Vince Carter. That's all we need to do.
What did he say? I think after one game he said, I'm going to take a picture of Vince Carter
Yeah,
and put it
show
in
it-
everyone's locker room and
That's what he
remind
did.
them that he plays for the Mavericks.
Yeah.
That was great. I knew you were going to be happy about that one. For new fans listening, Armand is about the biggest Vince Carter fan
The
on the
biggest.
earth. I mean, you think I love LeBron James? He
I
might
need someone
take
to
it.
go with me to Daytona Beach, Florida, to go to his restaurant. All right.
Let's take it Let's do an entertainment overload show from Vince Carter's
from
restaurant.
Daytona, live from Daytona
Live
Beach.
from Daytona Beach, here with Vince Carter. You know, maybe
Oh,
he'll
man.
come on the air. That would
Maybe
be
he would.
That would be exciting.
That would be great.
We're winding down then, and I kind of want to get to this NFL story. We talked a ton of NBA. We'll be talking a lot more NBA. Armand and I, huge NBA guys. I want you to get the jersey on at some point, Armand. You got to do the
Yeah, I'll
dynamic.
do it. You gotta let me know.
There you
We'll
go.
do a jersey.
I'll let you know. So we've got right now, this week, according to the Harris poll, there's a new favorite team in America. I mean, for a long time, it's been established the Dallas Cowboys were America's team. Everybody loves the Dallas Cowboys, but that's not the case anymore. The new Harris poll shows that America's favorite team in 2014 is the team I'm wearing if you're watching the live stream, the Denver Broncos. Now, Armand, Denver's the number one team for America. Are you surprised?
No, honestly, I was gonna say either them or Seattle.
Yeah, I think based on recent, like,
There's so many fake
yeah.
Seattle fans out there. I'm like, all right,
Oh,
where were
man.
you guys 3 years ago?
Yeah. When they went 7-9 and made the playoffs, yeah, where were you then? Matt Hasselbeck as your quarterback? Come on. I don't know, but I'm not that surprised. I think wherever Peyton Manning goes, I mean, look, people at the end of the day are going to support you when you win. The Broncos have been one of the hotter teams. It's hard not to like them. I mean, Peyton Manning, what's not to like about Peyton Manning?
I'll tell you what's not to like about Peyton Manning. Whenever everyone disagrees with me, because I mean, what I'm gonna say is pretty, insane. But
Knocking his playoff.
no, but that too. Whenever I watch Peyton Manning play, he excels only at the slant game, on the pick and the slant from the outside inward towards the middle of the field. That's where Peyton excels. When you make Peyton throw the ball 25 yards down the field when he's in pass rush, he throws those wobbling passes. You ever see him do that?
I'll say this.
gets me so
I
aggravated.
don't totally disagree with you. I think a lot of it is, I mean, I think especially you saw it his first year with Denver. He's lost a considerable amount of arm strength.
Yeah, from the neck surgery.
From the neck surgery.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I think that's what it's from. I think it's from the neck surgery.
I would have to look at some film to see
Yeah.
if he did that with Indianapolis.
We'll break down the film, We'll have a
We're gonna
little
have to
film
break down
session.
the film
We'll break down
session.
the film. But I think that
But
I
it's
think-
like he's like the only quarterback I know who does that. That's at an elite level. I will never see Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady throw a pass like that. Never.
I agree. I think that
Luckily,
he's,
he gets bailed out because he has Julius Thomas, Demarius Thomas, who are big
you know what it
receivers.
is too. He's so smart about the game that he's gonna make the right plays so many times that I think that kind of covers up for that weakness
Yeah.
in his game. Because I don't disagree with you that he's lost a lot of arm strength. He's definitely not the strong arm quarterback he once was, but he's Peyton Manning. He makes it work.
No, he does. You're right.
I just watching him at the line. I love him picking apart a defense. No one else can do that like he can. But let's go on to the number 2 spot, the New York Football Giants, number 2.
Really?
Yeah, number 2 for the Giants. I'm a little surprised, but at the same time, I'm not. I mean, in recent memory, they've had two of the most. Look, everybody has
the Giants
really
been good in recent memory, besides last year and this year.
the Patriots, sorry, Ian, have kind of been public enemy number 1 for a while because of how good they've been. Tom Brady, you either love him or you hate him. They've been so good for so long. The Giants pulling off 2 of those huge upsets in the Super Bowl. So I think the Giants have kind of been like America's darling. They kind of
Yeah,
adopted
because
the Giants.
they beat the Bill Belichick
Yeah.
Patriots
They
twice.
took down. It was a David versus Goliath. They took down the big boy. I mean, and it's hard not to like the Giants. I mean, you've got kind of Eli Manning, who I think is just kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of like a goofball. You know what I mean?
Oh, him and his facial expressions. It's like it's so funny because like NBC, ESPN, it's like they frame it at the end of each
Oh, it's
before the
per-
commercial
isn't it
break. It'll be like Eli with his face like this, like a puppy dog.
Isn't it perfect? I mean, how they every
It's
time
great.
It is.
It gives me it's like Comedy Central.
let's Let's go to number 3, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I
Now,
can see
this
that.
one is no surprise. The Green Bay Packers, just one of the most historic, traditional teams in NFL history. I'm not surprised by this one at all.
It's so funny how when Brett Favre, when his days were over in Green Bay, and then a new guy named Aaron Rodgers stepped up in Green Bay, and look where he is now.
Yeah.
He has maintained his role for what, 9 years? He's been there. 9 years. 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
8 years. Okay, I was close.
Very cool. I'm not good at math, so I wasn't going to say anything anyway.
No, but you ever thought that Aaron Rodgers would be this consistently good over 8 years when he first came in? His expectations weren't that good.
You look at teams in the NFL when you lose that guy who's been your quarterback forever, and that never happens where you're able to so quickly
turn around.
There's only 2 teams who've ever
Brady.
I could remember. Yeah, I think in recent memory, the Colts had the perfect situation with Peyton Manning out the door. They get to draft Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but they had that 1 year where they won 1-15. The Packers right off the bat. Went
from winning to winning.
Yeah, they stayed that way. And same thing with the Patriots.
That's the good point, because the Colts, they had that year where Peyton was hurt,
one horrible
2
year.
wins, but then they got
Next year they rebounded. But I'm saying, besides can you think of another team in recent memory who has done that after a big quarterback has left and another guy came into the spotlight? Besides,
I think that that's a great point. I mean, think about that. You
we
went
could say Colin Kaepernick, I guess.
Yeah.
After Alex Smith, although he's not nearly comparable to Rodgers or Brady.
Rodgers got you the results. He got you a ring. I mean, even if he never wins another one, you got one, and it's hard enough to win one in the NFL.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I think unlike the NBA, in the NBA, even when LeBron won his first title, I was as happy as you could possibly ever have been. But it was kind of all right, it's not really enough. You need to win more. In NFL, it's kind of even if you win one, I'm happy with that one.
Enough because
if you never get back,
the road that these teams have to go for to win that Super Bowl is insane. I mean, you're not on both sides of the ball. Aaron Rodgers only determines the offense. He's not. It has nothing to do with the defense unless he throws a pick and he puts his team in bad positioning.
I mean, think about
LeBron's
Joe Flacco.
on both sides.
Yeah. Think about Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco never wins another Super Bowl, no one is ever going to remember because he got it done. He won that one, and he's always going to be remembered
They
for
had
winning
the New
that
York
one.
Giants season, too. Who would have thought the Ravens... I mean, the Ravens are a good ball club.
Yeah.
They're competitive every year. I mean, the Giants, not so much. I mean, those 2 Super Bowls came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I knew the Ravens were going to go to the playoffs, but I never saw a run, especially them beating Peyton Manning.
That game
right? Wasn't that insane?
Oh my god, that was pure insanity. That stretch was. I mean, it shows the NFL right now. It's not the team who's the best. It's who's getting
hot in the playoffs, and that's what the Giants do every year. Week 16, they turn around, they go on this run.
Because I got to tell you, there were some games. I remember I watched Seattle at the Giants that year when they beat the Patriots the second time. Tavares Jackson picked them apart. Tavares Jackson picked them apart. I mean, it was just unbelievable how bad the Giants looked. Eli Manning, I mean, it was the 4th quarter going down, I think, to try to make the game a little bit closer. He throws a pick in the red zone. I mean, that would epitomize what you saw from the Giants.
Exactly.
You're if you told me they were going to win the Super Bowl that year, I would have just told you to go away. Just leave. But you know what? They got hot. They won it all. That's what it is in the NFL now.
Exactly, Joe.
Unbelievable, though. I'll quickly run down the rest of the list before we run out of time. Number 4 is the Dallas Cowboys, so they've fallen a little bit considerably. Number 5, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 6, the Seattle Seahawks. 7, the San Francisco 49ers. 8, the New England Patriots. 9, the Chicago Bears. And 10, the New Orleans Saints.
Where's the Miami Dolphins?
No, I don't know. The Dolphins are one of those teams where it's I don't know, I kind of just like Dolphins.
Listen, the
so
Dolphins...
I like them.
Listen, I haven't referenced my Dolphins all show, but the Miami Dolphins played great.
Oh.
They played a fantastic ball game against the Packers. They just let down the final 2 minutes. I was like, no, don't let Rodgers get the ball back.
I gotta get something off my chest with you because I said it on the Sports World the other day. I don't have as much trouble picking any team in the NFL's games than the Miami Dolphins. They drive me insane. I can't ever get a comfortable feeling about that team.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro.
It's like picking their games is horrendous. I never know what to expect, especially the game they played Kansas City. They're at home. Kansas City had to be playing.
I think they're going to beat Chicago this week. Look at the numbers. Chicago's 0-2 at home.
Yeah.
Miami's traveling on the road, and Miami only lost by 3 to the Packers. The Packers roundhoused the Bears.
No, I want to ask you because
That fake spike.
Oh my God,
How dare him do that in Miami? Dan Marino was in the fans. He was watching that. He's like,
Oh
you
my
want to
God.
be me.
Oh my God, that was pretty funny right there.
And that was not funny because the Dolphin players didn't even react to it. He did the play, and the Dolphins thought it was a dead ball, and they make him run like
Yeah.
15 yards. Next thing
I
I,
don't
know,
think
they're inside the 5.
Yeah, I don't think the Packers were ready for that either. I think that they just kind of turned around at the right opportunity, like, oh, okay, let's go.
I think Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers are rubbing off from Adam Sandler too much. From Longest Yard, all of his other football movies with
There
the
you go.
insane plays.
I don't know. Well, I want to ask you before we end up. But what about Ryan Tannehill? Because I also said on the show, I was like, I've watched this guy. I think you're kind of getting a good feel of what he's going to be. I just don't think. I think you're gonna have to look.
Joe,
in a
why do you have
different
to
direction.
upset my stomach this morning by
I'm
bringing
sorry.
this guy's name up?
I'm sorry.
I'm not a Ryan Tannehill fan.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Honestly, this is his year. If he does not get the Dolphins to the playoffs, get rid of him. Make him the backup. Trade him. Release him. I don't care what you do. But we're going for Jameis. We're going for Marcus Mariota.
Jameis Winston. Oh, come on.
We're going for Mariota. We're going for. Even the guy from Michigan State. I'll take. What's his name? Connor Cook.
Oh, yeah, Cook. He's not
I'll
bad.
take him. I mean,
Strong arm.
There's a couple guys I go for. Just get rid of Tannehill. Get rid of him. Send him away.
I did see that nice picture you had up on Instagram the other day with the Jameis Winston jersey.
Oh yeah, and I was like,
That's a
did
nice
you see the thing
jersey.
that was trending? It said blame Jameis.
Blame Jameis. I said that. See,
And that's why I was
clever.
like, blame Jameis. Psych, that's my man.
That was funny. They play Notre Dame.
Chilling with my
that's
stunner shades
That's
on.
going to be a really good game. Oh, come on, Armand. You're always bringing the heat to the. You're always bringing the heat. There
There
you go.
Joe. That's why you're the sidekick.
That's why I'm Robin.
That's why you're Robin. I guess I'm Batman.
Who would be the sidekick in T-Mac and Vince Carter? I think that's a little debatable.
T-Mac. Well, if you're talking
Yeah.
Toronto days.
Toronto days, yeah, I would think you would definitely say T-Mac as well. That is going to do it, though, for this episode of Entertainment Overload. I had a blast, as always, with you, Armand. Any final words?
Any foul words? Thank you and good night.
Or
good morning. I'm
good
sorry.
Morning. There you go, Armand. Thank you for Tara for joining us this morning. I feel bad we couldn't really get you in the conversation at all.
Tara,
but,
don't worry. We'll be a big 3 one day. Me, you, and Joe.
There you go. We'll find something. I don't know. Armand, you're very clever. You're always thinking of good things
I
to
am.
talk about. But thank you all for joining us, and everyone, you have a great day.
I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends. I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends.